How's it going there, everyone? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing us a brand new Bungou Stray Dogs anime discussion. And for today's segment, guys, we are going to be talking about Bungou Stray Dogs episode 9, folks. And in this episode, we are actually looking at, for the first time ever, of the major villains of the first season are actually involving themselves against the guild members themselves. And that is because in the previous episode, we actually saw that Atsushi himself, folks, he actually declared a statement to Daizai and said, you know what, we should team up with the Port Mafia themselves, and there I say it, right there and then they will have an outstanding chance to win against the guild members themselves. And I thought to myself, after watching this episode, it was the most flashiest episode, and I'm here thinking like, that was actually a very wise choice due to that actual reason, because of the fact that the guild members themselves have very much overpowered members themselves, and these executives that are in the guild members, you kind of see that the way they actually set themselves up, they kind of put themselves in a position that they're always in the lead and they're taking action right there and then. But like I said, this episode was a very flashy, as we actually get to see Daizai actually face off against HP Lovecraft, folks. I love that they actually showcased that in this episode. But before all of this was going on, folks, before all of this, we actually get to see and witness the actual meeting between the Port Mafia and a detective agency, because before all of the actual fight that was going to happen later on in the episode, they actually had to have a competition and said, you know what, we should team up. But no, guys, that was actually something that I personally thought that wasn't very cliche, and that was actually for a fact that we actually, the Port Mafia and a detective agency, they still are not come to terms, you could say, that they're actually talking to amongst each other and saying that, you know, we'll team up. No. The Port Mafia member Oigai actually was talking to Fukizawa, and he told them that, you know what, I still do not trust this kind of agreement that we are and actually facing off against the guild members. The way that I see it, Oigai just doesn't trust the detective agency due to the fact that they can actually, or at least someone, either the Port Mafia or detective agency, one of them two will cease the agreement and actually start attacking once the guild members are down. And like, I love the way that Oigai was actually saying it to Fukizawa, because of the fact that he says, you know, we both have never come to terms, so why now? But I'm thinking to myself, that's probably Oigai's just in a defensive state, saying that, you know, we're really in a weakened state that we have to do this. It's his own version of his own frustrated attempt to say that I can't believe I've come this far to become a very powerful organization and now have to come with the law itself to actually defeat a common enemy that I've never have done before. And like I said, it's very powerful in a sense, and I love the fact that Fukizawa and Oigai actually face off against each other, and we see that these characters, my god, they're actually very powerful in a sense, because these guys didn't even show off their abilities. Granted, though, they did tease us with Fukizawa actually showing just a little bit of fight, but in all, it was just an actual tease, as one of the detective agency members just showcased one of his powers, his illusion powers, so that way that Oigai can actually come to an agreement. Like I said, it seems that the detective agency is always one step ahead, and they're carefully planning their maneuvers, so that way in case Oigai himself actually betrays. And I'm loving the fact that the dialogue between these two characters was very much in very suspense and tension, that, you know, it leaves the viewer himself or herself actually in a seat that you're wondering who really is going to betray who. Like I said, the dialogue was very powerful in that actual epic scene. I'm loving the way that Fukizawa actually mentioned Atsushi, that it was actually his own words that are actually saying, and Fukizawa just said, I'm gonna take a step back and say, I'm gonna have to agree, coming from somebody who's been stabbed, shot, and been brutally beaten by his enemy, that he's actually taking a chance to actually side with you guys. Like I said, like, it's very powerful at the dialogue that they actually use in order to make the agreement actually happen. But like I said, though, that was actually the first part. Then later on in the episode, like I said, we actually see HP Lovecraft finally reveal his actual true powers, the Great One, and we all know that's based off Cthulhu himself from HP Lovecraft's own version of his books. And I love the way they actually went along with that route. It did have that creepy, ominous, out of this earth vibe, because the way that Daizai was actually fighting, even himself a couple times he could not actually make that ability disappear. Remember, guys, Daizai himself has an ability ceaser. He can make any ability just cease to exist as long as he touched them. And when he touched that ability, it still was able to phase him. Like I said, it's probably the author's kind of way of saying that, you know, Cthulhu is a very powerful god. Like basically, they were kind of trying to imply like it's a god within a human body itself. Like I said, it's very interesting to see how they actually went along with that route. But at the end of the day, Cthulhu was defeated in this episode thanks to Daizai and Chuya's actual agreement on themselves, on the way that they actually fought. I love the fact that these two characters, their chemistry, like I said, they had a past and they still seem to be able to actually fight well amongst a brand new enemy that they never faced off against. Like I said, it seems that these two characters, the way that they're kind of introduced them, they're always chit-chattering, they're bickering all the time, but the way that they actually showcase them, you know, there's a reason why they're actually bickering. It's just their own way of having their own friendship. It's just two men just having a blast and having fun in the battlefield, as these two characters are always kind of like that stereotypical cliche trope of two strong warriors basically just arguing amongst themselves while they're actually seeing a powerful foe in front of them. Like I said, it's very hilarious to see how that trope came out in this episode. But like I said, most of the spotlight was not really on Daizai himself, as he was more like commenting on the fact between Chuya and HP Lovecraft, because Chuya actually showcased more of his abilities with his gravity abilities actually, and it seems that he actually has like a berserker mode, and this berserker mode was actually the cause to help them reach that actual state to cause Cthulhu to actually go down. Because while Chuya was in this berserker state and he was actually defeating HP Lovecraft, you literally see Daizai himself actually say that, you know what, there's something this creature, this out of this world creature, has to die at least at some point. There's nothing that's actually perfect. Like I said, I'm loving the way they actually had that interaction. I'm loving the way the action sequences were actually going on. They really went really well. We haven't seen someone go berserk besides actually Atsushi, so it's always interesting to see some other characters go in a berserker mode. Like I said, Chuya himself, we always thought he was like that calm, composed state, but it seems that he's just that powerful that he actually has berserker states. And like I said, in every cliche trope, any character has a berserker state just seems to be OP in any aspect of a battle. Like I said, it's very interesting to see how they actually went along with that route. But that was it for the episode, though I'm trying to think if I'm trying to miss anything. But other than that, at the end of the episode, we actually see that they actually finally got back Q, because in the end, that's what they really were after, was Q. But literally what I found was hilarious, the fact that Daizai himself took the doll. He took the doll from the freaking members themselves. It's hilarious, right in front of them. But the thing is that he did that reason was more for leverage, as to say that, you know, that they can't use Q's power, because remember, if they rip the doll and the curse enacts. So basically, I'm assuming that Q could only do her cursing power one at a time. I'm assuming though that's actually the case. If not, that would be pretty interesting to see if Q can actually do it in multiple cases. But for right now, it seems that Q can only do it on one per person. Now that was actually pretty interesting in a sense. And also, that was, like I said, in the episode when they were actually facing on Cthulhu, it seemed like there was a Deus Ex Machina. Like I said, they were giving Cthulhu a very powerful, ominous presence, but he died due to a bomb. Power of science, guys. The power of science actually being not supernatural, but the power of science. It's kind of like an actual recognition to H. Lecter saying that, you know, you're science fiction, so something with science probably has to defeat it. Maybe longer around, maybe something like that, but what do I know? But like I said, that's it for today's episode, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, because this Bungou Stray Dogs episode was very flashy right there and then. I love the way that they actually showcase every single character that they showed in this episode. They're always right then and there. They always get their own spotlight themselves. But let me know down in the comments below as to what you guys thoughts on the episode itself. Did you guys enjoy the Chuya versus HP Lovecraft fight? Or did you guys want to see more of HP Lovecraft's powers involved in a different kind of state? Or did you guys agree that the bomb itself is really what should have not killed it, or should have killed it? Like I said, let me know down in the comments below on your opinions on the actual fight of HP Lovecraft versus Chuya. And what did you guys think of Chuya in this episode? Did you guys enjoy seeing that kind of state, another berserker state from somebody else? Like I said, there's so much to talk about in this episode. Like it was really an interesting episode in all, folks. It really was. But let me know down in the comments below. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more anime related content. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day. But this is Mr. Zen, signing out. bye.